cell phone case cover. I wanted to purchase one, but they are super expensive. And so I thought I would do these 1.5 inch strips and just kind of, actually let me do it this way. I had them in an order. Let's see if I can continue this same order. So we'll do this and this. This is my plan anyways. And I'll lay them out just to see if I like the colors. Keep them in this order. Let's do this and this. This is my plan anyways. I do not know how this is going to turn out. I'm wondering if I should go up this way. I was hoping to do 5 on each one. And then put the yellow over here. Kind of match them up. By the time I get them sewed with the 1/4 inch, thinking I can fit 5 on here, and these might come over just a little. This is just a mock-up for right now, just to see if I want the colors this way. Thinking I'm liking it so far. And then the hole that's going to be there is what I'm wondering what that's going to be. So what I'll do is put the yellow up here, and I can cut out the hole when I finish. But if it doesn't work, then it won't hurt. So I'm going to go down just a little. So I think each block will be about 1 inch. And I was going to do a 2-sided one, but we'll see. So what am I missing here? Looks like I'm missing one, because I was going to do this. Did I drop one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So how did that work? I guess I needed 10, so I'm going to need another color. Which one should I do? With the yellow and the red up here, maybe we can do another, maybe this flower here, since that one's way down there, maybe like that. Or should I go for a solid? I could do the purple again maybe over here, but it doesn't really match anything up there. Yeah, it's too much bright. I'm liking just the few little solids that I have. We'll just play a little here and see what looks best. Could do yellow maybe. I don't know, is that too bright? Yeah, it's too bright. I don't like that. Could do, no, too much flowers. I think this is my best pick for right now. So we're going to sew that together, and then what I'll do is cut the middle out here. So that's the plan. So I will get my sewing machine set up, and then we'll seam them right sides together for each one. And then we'll do row by row. That's my plan. Wish me luck. We have the pieces together in the order that I want. That's the most important part, is keeping them in the order you like. And I've just pressed them open with the one seam. And I'm going to press just a simple iron over top. And this is just, I mean, I have no pattern. I'm kind of going at this at my own thinking. But as you can see, I've got my sewing machine there, and using white thread and I've just 1/4 inch on each of these, and then after I press these, I'm going to go back to my machine. If I don't burn anything, give this a good press here, just a quick press open, get them nice and flat. I use a wool mat. I enjoy my wool mat. It makes them a little crisper, I think. I don't know why that is, but move that out of the way. So then turn this off. I don't think I'll be using it again until I get these sewn, and it heats up pretty fast. I like this little iron. It's a steam fast iron. I don't know if that's showing in the camera or not, but for my travel iron here at the lake, that's what I'm using. So now what I'm going to do is take these and 1 over each, and I'm going to do my best. Actually, I probably should have pressed that way. I don't know what they call it when you can get your seams opposite each other. So real quick, I'm going to press that flat again before this cools off. Nesting, that's what it's called. Nesting your seams. So I don't use pins too often, but if you're uncertain, you can. And then just a 1/4 inch down this seam, and then open it up and press it, and then do the same. Once that is opened, you're going to put that one over the top of that one and keep going till you get them all. So next step. All right, update here. I started with just 2 rows, but when I sized the case over top, on screen here, if I take these ones away, I want to be able to see the quilting part of it, so I opted to put another row. I'm going to sew it on here in a second because this one just fits. So I'm going to center it over top of the back of this like this, and make another row going down this way. And then I will press it, and that was the other thing. I didn't do it to start. I kind of nested the seams here and here. This could probably use a press over. And then I opened the seams up because it seems to lay flatter. And I'll do the same step by step with each one of these. And then when I get these all sewn onto here, I'm going to flip it over and then trace around to cut it. And then I'll put a seam all the way around to hold it, is what I'm thinking. And then I'll cut out the center for the camera. And I'm debating on whether to do the same thing, 3 rows on this side. I don't think it's necessary because once I put this in here, my phone's going to be up against it and you won't see that anyway. So one less step, but that's where I'm at right now. So I'll go over to the sewing machine here and put this 2nd row or 3rd row on and come back after that. Okay, got it together. 3 rows, ironed and pressed it as flat as possible. And then I'm thinking I'm going to use some of this interfacing before I quilt it. I'll iron it on here. Make sure all the pieces and parts are covered. That way when I put the batting on the back and I quilt this on here, I was thinking about doing a zigzag stitch on all the lines, but I don't have my foot, so it's going to have to be stitch in the ditch. The trickiest part is getting these squares to line up when you sew it together, so I had to take it apart a couple times. But I think I got it straight enough, and then when I get this pressed together, I'll take my template, and I also have the ones that are, where did I put it? This thing here will be my backing for the actual case, which I stuck somewhere. Where did I set it? Clear case, so it's hard to see. Oh, it's right here. So what I'm thinking, This will actually be on this side for some firmness. That way it's a piece of felt. It's a little thicker once I get this ironed on. So that's the steps. Iron this on first. Line this up to where I want it for the best see-through. Then I'm going to quilt this on top of here. So it'll be nice and thick, and hopefully there's plenty of room in here once I cut this out and the hole. Just got to make sure everything's lined up and doesn't look cockeyed. So that's my next step, but I'm pleased with how this looks, and I'll trim it all off to probably, I don't know, I'll have to decide which ones I want to see the most of. Which colors do I want to see the most? Kind of look at it through the window of the cell phone case. Ah, it's very slippery. I might want to go this way. I don't know, we'll see. I just don't want any crooked lines showing. And then you can see where it'll look quilted. So it's either that. I'm thinking it looks straighter the other way. But we shall see. So I gotta make up my mind. Probably gonna wanna go this way. It's my feeling right now anyway. But I don't know. I like the yellows too, so yellow's showing with a little bit of the purple maybe. But I want it to be sure that they're even, so you got a little bit on each side and then one full square there. So wish me luck. Okay. I've quilted. I've still got to cut out this part right here where this is, but you can see how I've quilted it, and that piece of felt in there is giving it some stability. But what I want to do now is sew along the edge all the way around, maybe 1/8 of an inch, just to seal it all the way around, and then hopefully it will fit in here. And just carving this out so that it gets a nice look. I think it'll be what I've been trying to do. So, to be continued. All right. Final result. Got it in the case. I'm happy with the straight and the quilting. You can see the lines. I had to trace that out, but you're not going to see it with the phone. So it's a little rough in here. I sewed around just so that it wouldn't fray too badly, but I'm hoping when I push the phone in there, it'll kind of hide it. We're gonna find out. But that is what it looks like. I think I might have to do some doctoring here unless it pushes flat, because my buttons, I want to be able to access the volume and turning it on silent. But for a handmade item, I am pleased with it. So I'll take some pics. I also did this one. Actually, all I did was fabric glue. Got some fabric that I liked for Christmas, and that'll also go in here so I can switch them out. But this quilted one was the one that I intended to do, and then I might just do a felt one with some, I've seen a YouTube with some silks and metallics, and just kind of embroider on a piece of felt, like on the back side of this. You would just draw your drawing like little flowers or whatever, and then embroider a design. So I'm thinking about doing one more, and I will have 3 different cases for my phone. So I'm very pleased with this little project DIY, and it was fun. Okay, so much for my great idea of putting the felt in between. Do not do that. So I'm taking this apart, and I'm not sure if I can fix it by sewing this together on the edge. But because of the thickness, I can't get the phone in the case. So I'm going to take the black out and just use the one thin piece and then the other piece. Sew that back all around, and hopefully it will be enough thickness taken away to where the phone will fit in the case. Stretcher bars. Very simple instructions. I've got it mostly together, and as you can see, they have these, what you call them, the way they go together. And I just take this rubber mat to finish this last bar up, and a hammer, just so that I'm not denting the wood, and get it down so that it is level on both sides and fully flat, wedged in there, and we'll make sure this side is fully down as well. This hammer's not very heavy. If you have a heavy hammer, it shouldn't take so many whacks. There, now it's smooth, and that is going to be the start of my hooking frame. I'm hoping these are wide enough for the carpet strips that I bought to go around the edges this way and on each side. I forget how long they are, but I'm still waiting for them. I ordered them May 8th. It is now June the, oh no, today's the 31st, last day of May. So it's been a month, and they are in vicinity. I think they came from Canada or somewhere over there. But it could have been China, I'm not sure. I'll have to look when they get here. But it came from Yoon Express, so that does kind of sound like it's over the pond a ways. So it's taken a little while to get the carpet strips, and I'll have to take the pins out and staple them or tack them to this. And then I'm hoping to take some wood pieces that I have as a base on the bottom so that it props and I can get my hands underneath to do the rug hooking. This is probably as large as I want to go at 18 inches. Even smaller might be good for a small piece, but for now this is what I'm going to try, and we'll see how it turns out. Looking at my calendar, we are June the 7th. If that's wrong, I'll put that at the bottom. But I was looking at my calendar for all that I did. I'm going to insert a few things throughout, but this will be a quicker one than usual because I'm kind of on a schedule today. I need to be somewhere, and with the Great Craft Room Challenge that I'm doing this month, it's taking up a little more of my time for recordings and uploadings. But good news, I figured out iMovie a little bit better where I'm not taking so long. I don't know why I didn't figure it out before, but you can actually use your previous movie with the headings and the endings, and then just put in your video that you want. And I'll probably do that with this one for my floss tubes from a previous floss tube, because some of the music's different on each one. I like to change it up. But now I know how some of these people are putting out daily videos, because it's so much easier. They take a little bit to upload, depending on how long it is. Like the 2-hour ones for floss tubes might take a little while, but these 15 to 30-minute challenges that we've been doing for the Great Craft Room don't take, very long to upload. I guess depending on your service, but here in Frisco, it's not bad at all. So first on my, I don't think I mentioned, this is a cross-stitch channel with all of my other hobbies, which are quite a few lately. But I will share the cross-stitch first and then put in my other crafts afterwards. So like I said, I was looking at my calendar for May, and after the last time that we visited, I didn't work on a whole lot of stitching besides the SYS 6 and 6 that was happening this past weekend, and then I had my finish from Winnie. I don't know if I think I shared the last time, so that's where I'll start, where I was and on the date and everything. So I did finish the date and actually put my initials. I don't know how close I need to get. And I put the year 2022 for her birth date of January 3rd. And I'm just loving the way Winnie looks. But this will need to go on the back table. In my challenges, I'm going to clean that off, and thinking either July or August will most likely be my month. Maybe not August, because I have a birthday and an anniversary that month, and I'm not quite sure what's going to be happening. So it'll either be July or September. I'm going to focus on finishing some things, because there's at least 4 or 5 projects, maybe even more than that. I'll find out when I clean off the table, but I want a finishing month and just kind of focus strictly on finishing and kind of set my projects aside till I get those off and on my walls, because I do have a very large one that I want to put on the wall, one of my larger ones that I finished. Even though it's a Christmas stitch, it's one of my first big ones, and I want to display the ones that I finish if they're not gifts, and I'm not giving them away. Like this one will go to my daughter for her baby's sampler. So let's set this off to the side. The other thing I did, and just previous to this recording, I shared my craft challenge, was to kit these up fully, because I had put in my haul a bunch of flosses that I had purchased, and they were just sitting on the counter. And in my little, I use one of these little containers to put flosses that I buy randomly from the store and bring them in, and they just sit. But I didn't want to get what I bought them for, so I made sure I had all the flosses in them, and they each have fabrics that I have purchased. The Beloved has the Needles and Flax 32 count. I'm going to use the 40 count Winter's Brew on the Scarlet House called Samplers. And then Plum Street's, this I know, has a 28 count sand. And I'm hoping I did the math when I did my calculator correctly, and they're large enough for each of these pieces. But they haven't been started yet. But that's my hope. The only thing I need is, and I'm going to get it today, is one skein for the equivalent to an Anchor 164, because I only had 1 or 2 anchors, and it didn't include that one. And I apparently just with all the buying of floss and DMC and the numbers, I missed that one floss. So I'm going to get on my iPhone and figure out what the anchor equivalent to 164 is for DMC, and I'll grab that today at Hobby Lobby. Okay everyone, I was just going to come on here and pop this video in here for my haul. That way I'm not spending a whole lot of time during my actual Flosstube sharing all of the stuff that's came the last, it's been almost a month now. We are in June. Today is June the 5th, and I thought I would get some of this stuff shared, and then I'll just be able to put it into my, I use iMovie when I'm making these videos, so that's kind of what I'm going to do. I don't have a lot of the information, but I think as I pick it up, I'll be able to share where it came from. But we were away for the weekend, and we are home now, so I'll have about 3 or 4 days to get things back in order. And for the month of June, I'm also going with Alicia, the Fanciful Flamingo. She started a challenge for cleaning up the craft room, and as you can see, I'm still in a bit of a mess, but things are happening. And the first 3 days I was able to see my floors. They are viewable now. I'm not tripping on stuff. And then I worked on my whips for 2 days, as well as sorting and putting things away. So I'm just going to try to share a video a day. And it's a challenge of 15 minutes a day. I tend to spend a little more time than that, but when I start organizing things, I get kind of into it, so it takes me a little longer that I spend the time doing that. But for the haul portion of this, I'm going to share, I think it's Chantel 141, if I'm not mistaken. She has a channel, and she put something on Instagram. I guess it was a few days back about her packing, and she's going to StitchCon apparently. And she was sharing some things in that video of how she packs, and she shared this Halo bolt. It is an actual charger that you can, it says it can charge a car, but my purpose was, it says phones, tablets, cameras, gaming, and I love the size of it, and of course the color. They have them in all different colors, so I was able to purchase that, and it actually comes with the cables. Excuse me, because I need water. So there's a charging cable for the wall, so you've got to fully charge it first. It says it takes about 9 hours, but as long as the lights come on all 4. When I plugged it in a minute ago, only 2 lights came on, so it still needs to be fully charged. So that's what I'm going to do overnight. And then when I go away on my weekly stitch-ins and stuff, I'll just take this along with me, so I'm not looking for a plug somewhere. And then if I ever do get to a retreat, this is something you can also take, because I was reading a little flyer in here. It says all Halo products are carry-on approved. So apparently this can be put in your carry-on if you're going away on a trip. So that's good to know. Thought I would share that. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this keeps a charge. And I'm gonna just step over here and plug it in real quick, get it charging. And yep, it flashes until it goes solid, I guess. So another thing that came, and I haven't opened it yet because like I said, we just got back from the lake, is Stacy Stitches. I was hoping one of these would come before I went on my weekend, because I participated with the SYS group on Facebook. SYS 6 and 6 was the hashtag, I think. I'm looking for scissors. in a sewing room. Well, I guess I don't need it because it just popped open. So I was going to share what I bought from her shop, Stacy Stitch's Creative Studio. I love how she packages things, so pretty. In purple. I'm going to turn on the light here. Excuse the mess, like I said, we're in the middle of a challenge, so. She has some stickers here. Not going to read that one. It's a little bit of the language that I don't use myself. So this is her card, Stacy Stitches. Take a screenshot of that. And then there's a little flyer in here about the Crosstitch Retreat 2024. Looks like they're having one at the Sheraton Sandy Key Resort in Clearwater Beach, Florida. And it's Thursday, February 22nd, 2024, Friday, as well as Saturday. So 3 days it looks like. If anybody's interested, they could probably go to her website and find out more information on the retreat. I'm still hoping and praying one day to attend one. Maybe locally I can figure that one out, but that's the plan. With all these whips that I have, I would love to sit and stitch with others. But I purchased 2 things from her shop. And she's got a little thank you in here. Just says, thank you so much for your order and happy stitching. So the first one I got was the meaning of the flag. And that is Little Stitch Girl. It's got the 3 different ones: perseverance, purity, and valor. So I'm looking forward to doing that. But with the SYS this weekend, I was looking for projects that I could easily stitch that were red, white, and blue. So that's kind of what I did here, as well as this one's a fully kitted project. It is Sweetland Sampler by Shepherd's Bush. It comes with the floss and the fabric. And I can get a little closer here so you can see. It's just a very sweet sampler. So I'm going to look forward to doing that. I will add that to my 4th of July stitches. So that was another purchase. So those 2 actually came in the mail today. Last week I finally purchased from Fat Quarter Shop. I got a couple things. I got this bead tier, as well as Erin Elizabeth Designs, I think is what it is. I'm hoping to find some ones with lemons on it, but I love the tier, and I'm gonna see if I can't maybe add the bees with the lemons and use that as a summer stitch. And then I also got the square rotary cutting mat that spins, so I'm gonna look forward to using that between travel as well as here on my cutting table when it gets cleaned off. So those are a few of the things that came. And my carpet strips for my rug hooking stand finally arrived after almost a month. So that's going to be a project that I'll be working on in my plans. So for now, I think that'll do. I will share a little bit more in another clip. But I appreciate you, and we will get back to regularly scheduled Flosstube. Bye. Okay, so besides those items, let's see, we've got the gripper strippers that I mentioned previously. I'm making a cross-stitch stand. Or not a cross-stitch, sorry, said that wrong. My rug hooking stand. I'm going to attempt. I found a few floss tubes that, or a few stitchers that were making stands, and these are the items they said to get. So I got 2, and got to figure out getting the staples out so I can cut them with scissors and then put them on the square frame that I'm making. So those were a couple more items that came in the mail. Tuesday mornings is going out of business, so we have one locally, and I just picked up a couple things. There's a with all the bees types things that I've kind of gone a little crazy on. I thought this would make some nice finishing trim. The yellow polka dots, and then we have just punches. Been making my flag floss tags, so I thought this punch would be a cute one, and with summer and spring type projects, I thought having one that was the shape of a butterfly would be cute, so that's what this is. So I have a few other punches that I purchased, so that was another one. Of course, I'm adding to my messy cleanup videos by putting all this stuff up here, but it'll get put away, I promise. Walmart, I ran up there the other day and they had some of these trays. I thought as I'm organizing things for sewing or sitting at my machines, they were about $1 a piece, so they were in my color, and I thought they even come apart, so once I get the papers off, you can individualize and maybe put one at each machine. It's kind of what I was thinking for clips or needles, little things like that. So those were another purchase. Put my glasses on in case I need to read something. Another finishing item. They are quiche tart pans, but I have been seeing people finish things in these tart pans, so I picked up, I think this is a pack of 4. Sorry for the crinkling, but there's, oh no, actually there might be 6 in here. Yeah, 6 pack. So there's 6 tart pans in here. So once I get to finishing things, I'll have these in my stash. So I'm just going to add to my countertop, and then when this is done, I will put it all away. Let's see what else we have. I'm not sure who Jennifer Regan is, but let's open this real quick. Oh, this is a book that I had ordered. I think I shared some books that I went through and sampler books. This was another one that someone had mentioned was good to have, and I found it on an Etsy shop. You see the name of it again. It was about 3 weeks ago. So yeah, Jen's Stitching Niche on Etsy. So that's where I got this one. It's Brenda Key's book, The Ultimate Sampler Motif Source Book. So that also came in the mail after my last Flosstube, and oh wow, lots of motifs in this book. So this will be great if I'm looking to, like on that one pattern with the tear, if I want to put some lemons or something in there. I bet I could find a lemon in here, or just summer type things. Now I imagine there's a bee in here. So that'll be fun to use. So that was another purchase that came in. This was a gift to me from the rug hooking group that I go to. It's just a book called Homestead, so that's kind of the books that I enjoy reading and looking at. And now that it's getting closer to the 4th of July, there's a lot of things in here that I like to read. Spinning wheels, baskets. Oh, it just looks like a really great book to coffee table book. So I was very appreciative that they gifted me that. I guess she didn't need it anymore, but I will be looking through that. And the last few things are going to be sewing items. Yeah, lots of fabric again. But I'll go through these really quickly here. I've got some yellows. These ones have fabric notions on them, buttons and needles. And yes, lemons and limes. I need some lighter fabric, so I got a bunch of fat quarters because I am starting to look at what quilts I want to make. This is pre-cut fabric, but it's just got lots of lakes and beach. So for finishing, I thought I could use those for things. Some more yellow fabric. Strips with bees on them. Will be so much fun to use some of these in quilts as well as finishing for my cross stitches. So these were all Walmart purchases. And then some 5-inch squares with the bees. So these will be fun to decide what to put these in and use. And then maker paper is Agility Studio. Blech, if you can say that right. They're extra thick coated sheets. They're for tracing and drawing prints on your heavy duty templates. So for applique and stuff, I wanted to have some of those. So just lots of sewing notions this last time. And then I got 2 packs of the Wrap and Zap for bowl cozies that I make for gifts and family members. I usually give a lot of these away, so I did not have any more 100% cotton batting, so I got 2 of those. And then lastly, an order from, actually this is just from the Fat Quarter Shop receipt, but I also got one of their, I thought this would make a nice backing for the 4th of July. Very cute pattern. Kind of a primitive flag, but I really liked it. Thought it would be something I could use to make a small quilt, or even put it on the back of a quilt and then put some of the borders around it with the other fabrics that I have that will match. So I got that. And then a quilt shop that's right around the corner here. I ordered a few more things from them, 4th of July related, as well as Teresa Kogut and sewing type. So this is Teresa Kogut's, look at the line, it's called Stitchy Birds. So I got the strips for that line to go with the layer cakes. And then these are the fabrics that I got. These are the Sewing Notion ones. There's like a 4 half-yard cuts. So there's the flowers, the blue, and then the black with the scissors and the thread. And then these are the 4th of July. See how this is how things get overly packed. So the flags, this is a panel, Great American Summer. So those will be fun to use. I'm not going to unfold it, but you can see the red, white, and blue, red flowers, the white flowers, flags on blue, the checks, and then the flowers on the blue. So this will be fun to make up some things for the holidays that I don't have, because I really don't have any holiday quilts. So I am looking forward to using all these things, but this month for June, for plans anyway, this will be pretty much getting this room back in order and sorting through everything and putting it where it belongs. And then maybe July I'll tackle my craft table over there for some finishes. But that was my haul for the last month. So I'm going to keep this inserted and we'll get back to my other projects and plans for the upcoming month in my floss tube. So always haul. Have to be finding things that will work with my projects that I've currently got going. So thank you. All, but I forgot to add this little stand that I purchased from Amazon in hopes to get to a retreat. I mean, I have the wood ones that I use here at the house, and I have a wood one up at the lake lot, but for travel I thought this would be good because it lays flat, and of course I had to get it in my color. So that was a Crosstitch purchase, and I am kind of getting my hopes up for a retreat someday. Not this year for StitchCon. I've put a plug in my husband's ear, you know, even around here I've heard there's some, and kind of keeping my ears open for maybe towards the end of the year there might be one. If not, hopefully praying for next year, just to experience my first retreat. And because of that, I've been buying these kind of things. And if you watch my Instagram, you've seen last week that Hobby House had their restock of the Patoki stand, and I've been looking at that for 2 years. And as soon as I got the email, I texted hubby and just said, "Early birthday present?" And he said, "Sure." So I went ahead and purchased one, and I am so excited. It's not here yet, but once it gets here, you'll see it on my social media. Okay, so after that, I've done that. I'm just kind of making sure I go through everything that I wanted for this floss tube for this month. We'll go to the projects next. For Crosstitch, make sure I've got everything. I've showed you my finish. I talked about the craft room challenge. So the next ones that I worked on mostly after that were, like I mentioned, this SYS 6 and 6. I'm not sure if it's quarterly or how often they do it, but it was pretty much my first time doing it. So what that is you find 6 projects, or you can find 1 project, and you work on for a total of 6 hours throughout the weekend. And it's a Saturday, Sunday usually. And a lot of people do 6 different projects and work on them for an hour apiece. And that's what I did, because I wanted to challenge myself. Plus, with the 4th of July happening here soon, I wanted more red, white, and blue. And I tend to stitch in the season. So if it's coming up, I like to stitch those kinds of things. So I picked out 6 different projects, and I'll run through them really quickly. On one of my videos, I think I shared unpacking a bag, which I shared a little bit of them, but I can share them a little bit better on the floss tube so that you can actually see what I'm using for each one. So that's kind of what's kept me busy. This one is called the Stitcherhood Quaker Flag. This is the pattern. And during my weekend, I only had like 5 or 6 of the little stars finished, but I actually finished 1 complete row on the pattern, the middle row, and then that blue flag will go here. But I am very pleased with that. It got an hour, maybe a little over an hour on that, and I'm using just the DMC flosses, which are here with a few loose ones. They're just the red, white, and blues. B5200, DMC 304, and DMC 826. So those are my flosses. So that's one. And it was really fun to challenge myself that way. My husband thought I was doing this every day, but I told him it was a different kind of a weekend, even though we were at the lot. So I'll just put all this back in here. The fabric I'm using is a 16 count beautiful beige Aida. So it's not a 14 count, but it is an Aida. And this is kept in this bag right now because this is the one I'm working on for the next couple days. Just going to set that there. The other one I worked on, which was a real challenge for me because I've never worked with gauze, and that's what this one's on. And I might change it to a fabric if it starts looking like it's not turning out, but it's called My Heart Beats True with Erica Michaels. And it's just a small little piece, and I picked my own colors. And there's just a few. It looks like a blanc is my white, a 3750 is my blue, 816 is my red, and you're supposed to fill in the background after I do the actual stitching. So I'm going to use a Gentle Arts and a Classic Colorworks called Yield Gold and the Chamomile, and is also another one that I'll be using. They're so similar in color that I think it'll be fine if I use a strand of each. It calls for only one strand on this gauze though, because it is so tiny. The gauze is a 35 count. And then the border that I'm using is called Butter Crunch. And then the words USA is also going to be used in that color. But I started it on June 4th during the SYS Stitch 6 and 6, I guess is what that's called. So that's that project. Just a couple more here. I'll just lay them up here. I'll put these away afterwards. Keep my challenges going. The other one was called, oh, it's out of a magazine, so I printed it. It's called America. And let me see if I have a picture of it. Yeah, well, don't want to show you the pattern. I can probably flash it though, but it's this here. Really quickly. It's just the American flag with some houses, and it says Stars and Stripes, America Forever. So I started the border on that one, just using my choice of colors, which are all DMC. Excuse me. Some of them are older DMCs that I've had in my stash, so as I use those colors I can get them on the floss drops like I mentioned in the previous floss tube, and I'll share where I'm at. I've got it in a little, what's that bag? Nikki's Notable bag. But I got the border started, and I'm really enjoying the way that's looking. I thought I'd be able to do it on the blue. There's a picture of it on a dark navy blue, but the piece I had wasn't big enough, and I wanted to start it, so I used the piece in my stash that I already had, and it's, I think it's a 14 count. I didn't write it down. Oh, yes, I have the tag. Oh, I put tags in my bags. It's an 18 count, actually. So, it's that 18 count. Beautiful, or Ada, Dirty Ada, I think is what it's called. So that's the third one that I did. So I did get quite a bit of stitching in on the new ones over the weekend, and then the ones that were previous, I had those out already. Another big one that I started, or had already started, was Land That I Love, Teresa Kogut. You've all seen it, I'm sure. So I had started this a while ago. Looks like back in 2022 of July, so almost a year ago I started it. I kitted it in May of that year with all of the DMCs, and I'll just share my progress. If I can, before I post this video, I'll pop in pictures of where it was previously. I like to do that, but just getting the floss tubes recorded is a challenge. So I don't know if you can see that, but I think I only had one or two of those leaves there, and I added a couple more. I think those are leaves. Actually, it's part of the border. It's going to be the border, and it's going to go around. So, and it's on a big piece of, what am I using? Tin Roof, the called for. So yes, that's where that one happened. Got my hour or so on that this weekend. And I am going to keep these patriotic ones out through July. And come August, I will probably switch them up. So you'll probably see these ones again in the progress that I've made on them in this floss tube as well as the next one. And then another new start called Freedom Quaker by From the Heart Needle Art by Wendy. This was a new start, so I just got a little bit done on it. I'm using a 40 count Cafe Olette, I guess that's how you say it, Cafe Olette, which I'm loving the feel of. It is 40 count, so magnifier is required. And I'm using Classic Colorworks colors, Sunflower, Hickory Sticks, Desert Mesquite, Ruby Slippers, Snowball, and Wavy Navy for this chart. I don't think those are the called for though. No, they're not. I picked my own colors on that one. But I fill out the card, I put the little symbol. Sometimes I put what the called for is, but this time I just, as long as I got the symbol there and what I'm using, then I'll know when I look at the chart what to use. But this is how far I got. It's going to say Let's in the corner, so I got the L and started the E. Or Let, it will say, for Let Freedom Ring. So that was the other one I worked on. And then we have this one. I had kitted a while ago, hadn't started it, but when this challenge came up, I picked it for one of the starts. It's Screen Door Needleworks on a 14 count Picture This Plus de Bloom. And she does states and things, so of course I had to get the Texas one. And I decided to use the Ada on it because it is a 14 count. And Picture This Plus might be one of my favorites. I love the feel of this fabric. So I'm just using my called for, or my picks, because I didn't have all of the called for. So I picked some Crynix to match, which just fell off of the ring. I gotta be sure and keep that to figure out how to put my Crynix on a ring. Might have to get more floss tags. And I'm using Weeks Dye Works Candy Apple, Gentle Arts Deep Sea, Classic Colorworks Betty Bluebell. Some of the called for I had, but not all. I think Betty Bluebell was one of those. Mimosa from Weeks, Michael's Navy from Weeks. I think that was a called for. NPI Silk for the white, another blue NPI, or not NPI, Crynix. Weeks Blue Coat Blue, I think that was a called for. And then Green Pasture wasn't called for, it's a Gentle Arts. So I started the corner at the top of the Texas where the blue bonnets are. Make sure all this goes back in the bag. I don't know if you can see. It doesn't look blue here, but the called for is like almost like a periwinkle color. Get really close. So the very tip of Texas there where the blue bonnets are is where I started. And that's what you see there. So I'm liking this, being that it's on a, what did I say, 14 count. It's 2 over 1 is how that is stitched. So that's been a challenge too, getting to different, I think it's, once you get over 18 count, don't you start using one strand over 2. Whereas under that you can do 2 strands over 1. And I don't mind 1 over 1, it just depends on the project. Okay, so that is the cross stitch and what I've worked on for that. Other than that, I just wanted a little life update and then my hooking project that I've been doing, and that's kind of been a monogamous thing for me on a weekly basis, which I'm loving. If you, like I said, if you've watched some of my Instagrams and things, you've seen I'm trying to make a stand because this one is borrowed, and I worked on it last week and got a little further. Connie from the group has lent me her stand, and she's given me so many things that's so appreciated. But she's given me the wool for the project as the pattern, as well as the monk cloth that you use, and I'm liking the look of it. She's kind of scary looking right now, but it's a snowman, and I'll bring it today as soon as I go here in a minute with me, and hopefully get the face looking a little better, and maybe start on the hat today and see how far I get. If I can get that, then I'll outline or maybe fill in down here. So that's the snowman, and that's the Mustard Seed Primitives is the name of what her company she used to have. And like I said, she gave me all the wool, and so many generous people. I mean, they've given me the hooks to use, and it's been a blessing to be a part of the group like this, as well as the Crosstitch community. But that's the pattern that one is. So that was another one that I worked on over the last month, as well as, like I said, trying to figure out the stands and what's best to use. Cleaning out the spare room is probably where I'll do most of my cooking, as well as cross stitch. I do when I zoom in there. I go in that room and sit on the sofa in there. It's kind of relaxing. And then lastly, I'll start from Shelly from Antique Needleworkers shared something on her Instagram that was so cute, and for the 4th of July I knew I had this yarn. I wanted to start a pair of booties, and this is how far I've gotten the base. And reading a pattern, I've just learned recently in the last year how easier it can be when you don't just see a picture or a YouTube of somebody showing you how to do it, or learning the terms. It's just a quick, easy 7-round double crochet newborn booties, and the pattern's by Mary Jo Princeton. So I'm not sure if I can share. You really can't see the picture, but they'll be cute. I have no reason to be making booties, but I just wanted to try it. It's one of those projects you see and you have to try. So I might even ship them if she wants them. I can get her address maybe, and she can donate them to her groups that she gives all of her projects to. But that's kind of in process as well. I'm hoping to finish those in the next month and get those to somebody. There's probably someone here I could donate them to as well, but since she gave me the pattern, I thought I would make them and send them her way. Other than that, I think for life update, Briar's walking now. So I think last month's video I shared that she had just learned to crawl, so it didn't take even a month for her to figure out from crawling to walking. She's a little unsteady and she still wants to hold your finger, but it's adorable. And I'll post in at the end some cute pics of her. Other than that, we're just getting ready for the 4th. I think I mentioned in my last video also my mom had pneumonia, and she is better. I've talked to her a couple times. She's just noticing, at 80 you can't do what you used to, so she's just going slow. But I appreciate those prayers and thoughts for her. Hope to see her this year again soon. Not sure what the holidays will bring, but would love to see either go there or her come here, one of the two. I don't think she can drive here though, but hoping that will happen soon, because I know she would love to see Briar again. Other than just being up at the lake on the weekends, that's kind of started. So we're getting electricity in. In the last month, we've put a kitchen in at the dock where the boat is, so that we can actually enjoy that this summer. I think actually this summer might be just getting it all ready, and then maybe by November it'll be finished. And then we might have a month or so to enjoy it before we have to store things up again for the winter. But usually Texas, though, you can be out on your boats almost into December sometimes. Just depends on the weather, but who knows? So we're enjoying the lake life, and I'll keep sharing, and I appreciate you being with me. And you all have a great month. It will probably be monthly, and I might even skip August because of the anniversaries and things coming up. I'm not sure what all is in store. Hubby's starting to play again in church and orchestras, so we're getting back into those kind of things as well. And like I said, I'm loving all of the craftiness and the community. Anytime I can get on and sew and stitch with people. The sewing hasn't happened as much this past month with the other crafts that's been going on, but I have still been purchasing and buying, and I will share when things come in, that especially like the stand that's coming from Patoki and Hobby House. I appreciate of course Shelley, the Antique Needleworkers, as well as Country Stitchers. That's where I first saw it. So it's just been fun, and I appreciate it all. So you all have a great month, and we will talk to you again soon. Bye. Say hi! She loves it. See, watch. See, look, that's what the little wind tunnel does. Put it in there. She knows. There you go.
No, she's trying to do it.
Oh, she's doing it on the outside. Yay!
Are you videoing?
I am.
Put it under here. Under there.
There you go. Good job. Oh my goodness.
That's her laugh.
Oh, there's an orange. Oh. Here, you take the green one. Here, you. No. That's his. You play with that.